à cái này nó không. Not that. Okay. Cool. Okay. Another Sunday edition. Although it's a kind of an interesting topic. I spoke about this once before. And then it's like, I always keep getting back to the point. It's like, oh gosh, why am I here? Or at least, why are you guys here? What are you guys trying to learn, etc., right? So here's the first question that I thought about. How many of you guys want to be immortal? As in, like, you can live forever. I bet you, like, it's an interesting question, because at first glance you think, hey, that's really cool, I can live forever, right? Like, everybody thinks that's like a great deal, because who wants to die? Because we have like, what, 70, 80 years on this earth, and then we die. So why not live forever? Why not become immortal, right? Interesting thought experiment. But, was once a movie called The Green Mile, right? It's a Stephen King novel, really interesting. It was this dude who gave this other dude powers or whatever. Anyway, it was the point is this though, right? He gave a rat this power to live a very long time, and he also gave this guy the power to live a very long time. And what the guy began to realize was that at first, he was like, oh my gosh, this is great, I can live a very long time. But he also realized, because he gets to live almost forever, everybody around him started to die, right? Like his wife, his kids, his grandkids, etc., etc. And so it became actually really, really sad that he gets to live forever. So, not everything is exactly what it seems, right? Like the thought experiment of like living forever, it sounds interesting, but it's not. So, today's lecture is all about what happens after death, right? Very interesting idea, nobody knows. I don't think anybody has like died and come back to tell you, oh, this is exactly what happens after we die. And every single religion out there, and if you think about religion, right, like Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, all those faiths, right, they all deal with the afterlife somehow or other. So the question is, what does the Buddhist tradition deal with? Do you guys know, or do you guys just think you know, or I don't know. Even I don't know. Like, this is like one of those things where I'm like, is it okay for me to question this? And I would argue, yeah, why not question this, right? Because it's like, that's why you're here. You can only get wiser by asking more questions or by questioning your beliefs. Like, you don't have to accept everything that they tell you, especially like what I tell you. Because like they say, all truths are half-truths, right? You have no idea. But, well, let's explore, for just the sake of today's lecture, let's explore, like, what is it that Buddhist people actually do believe in? And why is it that they believe in that, right? Always ask what, why, and I think the question of how is rather difficult to answer, right? But have you guys ever heard of reincarnation? Yeah, right? That's the primary belief for Buddhism, right? And it's the cycle, they call it rebirth. Like, nothing in this world is apart from rebirth. So like, everything in nature goes through rebirth. So think about this, like, you pick a random thing in nature, and I'm telling you, it goes through this cycle of rebirth. For example, a rock. When you get to like 8th grade science, you learn like earth science or whatever, you learn that there's an entire rock cycle. You look at a rock, you don't think it actually like goes through this like cycle of rebirth, but you realize, you learn like through millions of years that even a rock goes through the cycle of rebirth. Where do rocks come from to begin with? Where is it literally coming from? You guys know? Where? Yeah, there's different types, but what's the first type? Because they all come, they all say cycle, but what's the first type? Comes from volcanoes, igneous, right? And then from igneous, it transforms to metamorphosis, if a metamorphosis, it transforms to like sedimentary, right? And then at some point, all of that just goes back into the lava and the molten thing, and it becomes igneous rock again. So like, even things like rocks, it's like harmless and stuff, but it also goes to that cycle. What else goes to the cycle? You guys notice seasons. And it's like, we kind of know like, oh, spring, summer, fall, winter, but there's a constant cycle. And what's the cause of that cycle? Well, the earth is rotating around the sun, etc., etc. That's creating the seasons and the way that the earth is tilted, etc. That creates night and day and the different changes in temperature. But it's like those things that are like part of nature, right? Like all of nature has this like very specific cycle. Water cycle. You guys already know it, right? Water. What is it? Starts water, then evaporation, and it becomes clouds, and then condensation, it becomes rain, and then hey, go through that cycle again. So that's another cycle. Interestingly enough, the interesting fact about your body, did you know that you guys, or like the number of cells in your body, at the end of 7 years, you don't have a single cell that was the same as the one that you had 7 years ago? So whatever body that you have now, even like as an adult, you guys literally don't have the same body 7 years later, because every single cell has been replaced, right? And so cells go through that cycle of reproduction, replication, and then death, right? So there's like cell division and cell death, cell division and cell death. Okay. So the big question is this, right? If everything in nature is subject to this like cycle of rebirth, of like just becoming, coming, and going, then the question becomes, why are humans the exception to the rule? Or you could ask yourself, like, are we an exception to the rule? And I don't know the answer to that question, right? I'm not here to like give you answers. I'm here to tell you like, hey, this is what I'm thinking, and this is maybe something that you guys should be thinking too. Like, are we the exception to the rule? But it's also kind of interesting, this idea of, I forgot what they call it, but it's like the law of the conservation of matter, right? This is this idea that matter can neither be created nor destroyed. Really interesting because even stars, right? Stars, suns, what happens? At first, at the beginning, what are they? They're like a bunch of gases, right? And then over time, the gases collect. And through pressure and stuff, they become a sun. What happens with suns? They grow. They become like, they're little tiny at first, like a dwarf. And they become normal, and they become a red giant. And then at the end of their lifetime, what happens to the sun? Supernova. They explode. And what do they leave back behind when the sun explodes? They leave behind gas. And what happens to those gases? They collect and they form, and over time they pressure and it becomes another sun, right? But this is over the span of millions and millions of years. So this idea is interesting. Matter can neither be created nor destroyed. So I will like connect back this back to you in a second. But what's this entire Buddhist tradition is all about, this whole idea of like, hey, we are all subject to rebirth. There is a cycle going on. Obviously, we don't remember our past lifetime, and we can't see into our future lifetime, but there is a cycle, right? And whether you believe it or not, doesn't mean that it doesn't necessarily exist. Does that make sense? So I guess the point of that comment is keep this like lecture with listen to this lecture with an open mind, because we really don't know. For example, even if I said like 20 years ago, if I went back 20 years ago, and that's like way past your lifetime, and I said, hey, there's this little object, right, that can like give you infinite knowledge. And you can hold it in the palm of your hand. And whatever detail or knowledge you want to know, you can find it right away. If I went back in time 20 years ago and told people, like, this is something that exists, you think they would believe me? No. Why not? Because there weren't any like smartphones back then, right? Think about the luxury of iPhones. You think like people have like think about Google. This is what I'm referring to. There was like this infinite knowledge in Google that you can like just look up, right? and it's in the palm of your hand, and you're accessing it via the internet. But in my life back in like the 1990s, when computers were just coming out, and I told them, yo, this is what's happening. Like, I have this in my hand. People will look at me like crazy. That can't be real. So when I'm talking to you about the cycle of rebirth and stuff like that, on the one hand, we have no idea whether it's real or not. But on the other hand, we also have no idea that it's not real, right? So that's a very interesting idea that you guys want to think about. So let's take a look at, the question becomes what's the value then? What's the value in understanding about rebirth, right? The connection to this is why you guys are on the eightfold path to begin with, right? Think about who controls our path of rebirth. Anyway, well, before then, I'm sorry, I'm jumping around, but if you ever go outside, there's a big giant poster, and I'm sure you guys seen the giant poster, right? There's different levels of rebirth, right? There's a human realm, animal realm, angry demons, hungry ghosts, heavenly beings. These are all the cycles, and there's 6 realms of existence, right? And actually, somebody once, this Westerner, he became a monk, he became a Buddhist monk, and he said something really interesting that I never thought about. I looked at, one time when I was younger, your age, I looked at the poster and I'm like, yeah, right. Ghosts? What are you talking about? Or demons? What are you talking about? Those things don't exist, right? Well, I had no idea. But I was reading this biography on this, American guy who became a monk. And he said that, something about somewhere along his journey, he, became a monk. He, meditated in Tibet or something. And he came back to New York, right? And he said when he was looking around, all he saw in people were angry demons and hungry ghosts. And I'm like, oh wow, that's kind of interesting. Because have you ever met people who are just normally just very, very angry? Or people with anger issues. I'm sure you've met them before, or seen them before. Or have you ever met people who were just constantly wanting things, oh, I need to have this, I need to have that. Well, to some extent, it's kind of interesting because those people, and the guy made the comparison, he's like, man, those are the same types of people who are hungry ghosts. They're the same types of people who are angry demons, right? But just because we call it a name doesn't mean that they don't exist. Maybe they occupy a different form, right? And think about who those people are, right? You kind of feel a certain level of compassion for them because it's man, I wish I could teach you guys how to think better, right? And not be necessarily so hungry, so greedy, so ignorant, or so angry, right? All that stuff, all that negative stuff, we know those are the 3 things that lead us to suffering, and yet, so. That was just a side tangent. It was the idea that the 6 realms that they talk about of existence is also, to some extent it's real, but to some extent it's also a metaphor, right? There are certain types of people, for example, heavenly bodies or something. Maybe that is a heaven, maybe not. But have you ever met people who are extremely, extremely nice, and you're oh my gosh, they're so nice, right? Or somebody who's extremely, extremely mean. Where are those personalities coming from, right? Or do these people exist on the different realms of existence? I don't know. That's just a side thought that I had. All right. Let's see. Okay. So what's the value of this? What's the value of knowing that we are being reborn constantly? What are you accepted or not, right? Let's just assume this is the Buddhist doctrine, this rebirth. Well, the idea is this, right? Because we are being reborn over and over again, it also tells us that you kind of control your own destiny, right? You control your level of rebirth. No matter how rich or how poor, how smart or angry or silly or whoever you are, however you are born, you ultimately get to decide your next lifetime. And it's kind of interesting. Why is that? Well, because it's based on how many merits, how many good deeds you accumulate in this lifetime. And so, a lot of the times, people do like bad things, and then they like think that like, oh, let me pray to God and ask for forgiveness, and then that's it. Like I'm clean of every poor thing that I've done. I don't know if you think like to some extent if that philosophy is fair or not, right? But for example, let's just say you decided to like go out and murder people or like steal from them, and then you say, okay, let me just pray to God and hope that He like forgives me, and that's it. I mean, is that fair? I'm not so sure, and that's a really interesting question, right? But the idea of rebirth, however, and especially within the Buddhist tradition, is it's based on how much goodness you do in this lifetime, right? So simple things like listening to instructions or like volunteering your time. That's the amount of goodness that you are bringing into this world. And based on this, it determines where you are reborn into the next world, right? So obviously, if you did really, really bad stuff, like lying, stealing, like killing people, there's no way, according to this Buddhist tradition, you're going to be reborn as a human again. But there's another path where it's like, hey, if you keep doing good now in this lifetime, you'll be reborn as perhaps like a higher level. For example, if you might be reborn into like a monk or something who's getting closer and closer to the path of enlightenment, right? Who has more wisdom and more time and more structure. So that's just like the idea, like that's the value of understanding this. Whether you buy it or not, who knows? So very interesting. Like why, if this is true, why don't we have memories of our past lives? Right? Like if we're reincarnated, right? Like that means that what it implies about this like cycle of rebirth, and this is exactly what like the Buddha talked about. Like it's a smaller piece of the larger connection. Why don't we remember? Well, I mean, there's like lots of stories of like why you can't remember. Like according to the Chinese, like before you're born, you have to drink some like liquid or something that erases your memory. Or Plato, like this Greek philosopher, once thought like, oh, before you're reborn, you have to like cross this like hot desert, and then you come across a river. And it's because it's such a hot desert, you're gonna have to like drink, right? And little do you know that when you drink from this river, it kind of erases all your memories in the past life. Who knows why we can't remember, right? But this is a really interesting. Okay. So there is a Buddhist tradition explanation of why we don't remember. However, they explain that it's because you lose your memory because the confusion of like after death you go through this like intermediate stage, right? I don't know how they came up with this. I mean, but I think it's also good to question it. But they say, look, you go through this intermediate stage of existence after you die, right? And then you still have your six senses where you're like 3 feet tall. You're like 3 feet tall, and you're like passing through all the walls, any walls you want, but there's a wall that you can't pass through, and that's your mother's womb, or any mother's womb to be precise. So that's really interesting. And you could live like this for 7 7-day periods. That number, it fascinates me. Do you guys know why? Do you guys know what the period of mourning is? M-O-U-R-N. And so when somebody dies in family, in any of your family, or like in general, how often, for how many weeks do you guys have to be chanting? 7 weeks, 49 days. And so I never knew. I always wondered, like, why did they pick a random number like 49? Well, according to this Buddhist tradition, that's like the amount of time that you, after death, you're in this like period of existence, right? 7 day periods, okay? So that's just something interesting that you guys want to think about. Which brings me to another topic, which is chanting, Buddhist chanting. You ever notice at the end of the ceremony, like after we like do the normal chanting, like a lot of people go to the back, and then you see like those pictures of like all the people who have passed away and they're all chanting and stuff. Why do they do that? Do you guys know why? Have you ever wondered why? Even I don't know. Like, okay, they chant. Maybe it's for good stuff, but it's kind of nice, like, to know now. Like, it's like, here's what they explained, and this is like interesting. It's people chant, right, to dedicate merit to the people who passed away. That's like basically like, you know when we say like do good deeds in this lifetime so that you accumulate merit? Well, by chanting, you help give some merit to the people who passed away as well, right? But they say it's very little. It's like 2/10 to 3/10 that's transferred to the people who just passed away. I don't know how they came up with this statistic, but it's just like a fascinating reason of like explanation of like why we have certain structures and routines. Like I always wondered, but I never knew how to ask, right? Like why do people chant in fact for so long, right? And usually it's, hey, it's for 49 days in mourning, and that's the reason why. What's up with the whole merits thing, right? Merits and what is it? Okay, so there's an analogy, right, for you guys to understand, and that's this idea of merit and good deeds versus bad deeds. So none of us are like completely innocent, right? Like we do good things, we do bad things, right? But the analogy is this: like when you die, right? Imagine you're like a rock, and a rock is considered like bad deeds. If you have everything but bad deeds, right, and you're a rock, if I throw the rock into the river, you guys sink, right, to the ground. But if you have good deeds, imagine you're a boat, right, or a piece of wood, right? The good deeds is a piece of boat or like a wood, and you're a rock. No matter what, the boat is going to be able to float the rock across this like river, right? But if let's just say you're like a boat that's this size, and you're a rock that's like this size, you think that piece of wood is going to be able to hold up the boat? Hold up that rock? Not really. So the idea is, you always want to accumulate more good deeds, more merit, than bad deeds, right? Because then it's like the bigger the boat, the more that you're able to like pass on to the next lifetime. That's just an analogy. It's really interesting. 2 more things, and then we'll be done. And I have 5 minutes left. So, the simile they always give is whether you like believe in rebirth or not, right? The question they always ask is, and you guys know this metaphor, right? Or simile. Caterpillar, cocoon, butterfly, right? It's going through this like cycle of rebirth. Question is the caterpillar the butterfly? It's interesting because they say it's inaccurate to say that the caterpillar is the butterfly. Because if you look at it, it's not. Right? The caterpillar isn't the butterfly, they're 2 separate things. But it's also inaccurate to say that the caterpillar is not the butterfly. Does that make sense? Because it came from the same being. It's just going through a different stage of life, right? So that's the same metaphor for like the rebirth thing, this idea of rebirth. Just because your form changes from one lifetime to the next lifetime doesn't mean that your consciousness changes either, right? So your physical form might change, but your consciousness, the thing that's accumulating karma and merit and good deeds, stays with you, right? And this is part of the Buddhist tradition. That's why there's such an emphasis on like this present life and doing good in this present life. Because that's the thing that follows you. Your physical form, maybe you'll be in the heavenly realm the next lifetime, or maybe the animal realm, or a hungry ghost, or something like that, right? But that part of you still follows you, right? And this goes back to this whole idea of the conservation of matter, right? Nothing can be neither created nor destroyed. So when you die, and your physical body is here, you are not just your physical body, but also your consciousness. The question is, where does your consciousness go? Where does this part of you go? Who knows? But this is what the Buddhist tradition is talking about. Okay. Last thing is, and this connects to all of Buddhism, right? What is the big goal of Buddhism? It's actually okay, so on the one hand we believe oh yeah, everybody, every single animal, every single thing is part of this cycle of rebirth, right? Constantly born, grow old, die. Get born again, grow old, and die. This cycle, right, is painful. It's a cycle of suffering. And so understand that this is the premise of Buddhism, right? That we go through this multiple lifetimes over and over again. Our consciousness follows this. Our karma follows this. And it's only when you dedicate yourself to the Eightfold Path that you're able to escape this cycle of rebirth. And then so you reach Nirvana, right? And Nirvana sounds like some strange thing to you guys, but think about every single other religion out there. What do they promise? They always promise heaven. They always promise eternal life. But I always think about this, right? I don't know if you ever seen Christian literature or something like that, but they always paint heaven as this amazing place. You're in the fields. There's people laughing or whatever, and there's just happy, etc., and they live forever, right? I always question that too. I think you guys should too. Why not question that? If you live forever, and you do the same things over and over again, right? Let's just say you ride your bike down the street over and over again because you're immortal. I wonder, is that? I don't know about that existence. But what does Nirvana say? What's Nirvana? Nirvana is when you step out of this cycle of rebirth and you become almost one with everything. I don't know. This is a concept that I need to explore a little bit more. To be continued, basically. To be continued. But this is just a concept that you guys should be interested in exploring yourself and just question it. And ask your parents maybe, what happens after death, right? Ask them why do we chant for 49 days? Why do we chant to begin with? Questions that you guys, just to further your understanding, just for me, the more I read about this, I'm oh, okay. I furthers my understanding. So cool. And that's it. That's the end of my lecture for today.